Hey, future Samsung superstar. So I know you have that big interview coming up, and you're smart to be prepping for it. This deep dive is going to give you an edge. We're going to give you some insider strategies specific to Samsung, and all of this is coming straight from an expert YouTube source. Are you ready to unpack all of this?
Absolutely. So cracking the code over at Samsung,
Yeah.
it's about more than just your skills. It's about understanding their DNA, understanding their values, and the kind of talent that they're really looking for.
I love that cracking the code. It really makes it sound like a mission, which it really kind of is, right? So where do we even begin with this mission?
The first impression is everything. And with Samsung, that first impression is often shaped by how you answer that classic question. Tell me about yourself.
Ugh, don't worry, I was thinking that too. But what makes this question different at Samsung?
Well, this YouTube video that we watched emphasizes how Samsung really looks for a blend of technical brilliance and cultural fit. They call it the Samsung DNA. So it's about innovation.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's also about collaboration, pushing boundaries, and a real passion for technology. So tell me about yourself, needs to showcase that you have the skills and the mindset.
Okay, so it's not just about listing off all of your achievements, but you have to kind of frame it in a way that resonates with Samsung's values. How do we even know what those values are?
Research is key here. You need to dig into their website, their mission statements,
Yeah.
their recent projects. And what you're going to look for are the key words that keep popping up. So things like meaningful innovation, people-first technology,
Yeah.
sustainable future.
Yeah.
So try to weave those keywords into your answer and show them that you get what Samsung is all about.
Wow, that's really smart. So it's like speaking their language right from the get-go. I bet that makes you stand out from the crowd.
Absolutely. And so this video actually gives us a great example answer. Instead of just saying, I'm a software engineer with 5 years of experience, the candidate in the video started with, I'm passionate about creating technology that improves people's lives, and I've spent the last 5 years developing innovative solutions. So you see the difference.
Yeah, it's way more engaging. And it shows them that you're not just applying to any tech company. You're specifically drawn to Samsung's mission.
Exactly. And that level of research and alignment is really what sets those successful candidates apart. Now, after that initial impression, they're going to want to know why you were specifically interested in Samsung, the dreaded why Samsung question.
Oh, yeah. That one always feels like a potential trap. How do we navigate that without sounding generic?
Generic is like the kiss of death in a Samsung interview. They want to see that you've gone beyond that surface level. They want to see that you truly understand their culture and their values. And remember, Samsung is huge. What specific division or team are you interviewing with? That's where your research needs to get laser focused.
Okay, so I'm digging into their website, I'm looking for those keywords, and I'm also researching the specific team that I'm hoping to join. What else can I do to make that why Samsung answer stand out?
Think about their recent projects and initiatives. Are they pushing boundaries in AI, sustainability, mobile technology? So you're going to connect your own interests and experiences to those specific areas and show them that you're not just impressed by the Samsung name, but you're genuinely excited about their work.
That's brilliant. So it's about showing them that you've done your homework and that you see yourself as a valuable contributor and not just another employee.
Exactly. And in the video, the expert actually recommended weaving in a recent Samsung news story or a press release into your answer. So you could say something like, I was particularly excited to read about Samsung's partnership with them, and then mention a specific organization or initiative. It shows that you are paying attention and you're genuinely interested in what they're doing.
Okay, I'm definitely adding that to my prep list. Now let's talk about those tricky behavioral questions. You know, the ones that make you sweat a little bit, like, tell me about a time you disagreed with your boss, or tell me about a time you failed.
Ah, yes. The classic behavioral questions that are designed to see how you think on your feet and how you handle those difficult situations.
Yeah.
But this is where that YouTube video gets really helpful. It goes beyond the usual advice of using the STAR method.
Okay, I'm all ears.
Yeah.
How do we take STAR to the next level for Samsung?
Well, think about the specific qualities that Samsung values. So innovation, a collaboration, problem solving, a willingness to learn from your mistakes. When you're crafting those STAR stories, choose examples that highlight those qualities in action.
So even when they're asking about a failure, I should try to frame it in a way that shows my growth mindset and my alignment with Samsung's values.
Exactly. It's about turning a potentially negative situation into an opportunity to showcase your resilience, your learning agility, and your commitment to Samsung's core principles.
That's so clever. It's like taking a classic interview strategy and giving it a Samsung-specific spin. So let's say they ask me about a time I disagreed with my boss.
Perfect example.
hmm
Those people would focus on the disagreement itself. But at Samsung, they're looking for people who can challenge the status quo while still being respectful and collaborative. So your star story should highlight how you voiced your concerns constructively, maybe even brought in data or alternative solutions, and ultimately reached a decision that benefited the team and aligned with Samsung's innovative spirit.
Wow, that's a completely different way of approaching that question. And it makes so much sense given Samsung's culture of pushing boundaries. Okay, I'm starting to feel like I'm getting a real insider's view here. This YouTube video is gold.
It really is. It takes the guesswork out of the Samsung interview process
Yeah.
and gives you actionable strategies to stand out.
I'm so glad that we're diving deep into this. Okay, we've talked about the first impression, the why Samsung question, and tackling those behavioral questions with a Samsung twist. But there's so much more to cover.
All right, we got a lot more ground to cover. In part 2 of this deep dive, we'll explore how to handle those tricky questions about your long-term goals, and we'll delve into the art of asking insightful questions that really impress those Samsung interviewers.
Stay tuned, listeners. We're just getting warmed up. Welcome back. We're right in the middle of exploring how to truly ace that Samsung interview, and we've already dug up some gold about showcasing your Samsung DNA, but what about those questions that look ahead? Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yes, the classic future you question. It can feel like a really tricky balancing act between showing your ambition and your commitment. But this YouTube video had a really interesting perspective on how to tackle that question specifically for Samsung.
Okay, I am all ears
All right.
because I always freeze up a little when they ask me that question. What are they really looking for?
I think more than just a 5-year plan, they want to see your growth mindset in action. Remember, Samsung is all about pushing boundaries, innovation, constant learning. Your answers should reflect that.
So instead of me just saying, I want to be like a senior manager or something like that, I should talk about my desire to keep learning and growing within the company.
Exactly. And be specific. Like, what skills do you want to develop? What kind of projects are you hoping to contribute to? The video even recommended referencing Samsung's future goals. So have they talked about expanding into a new market or developing some cutting-edge technology? You should really try to align your aspirations with theirs.
Wow, that is brilliant. So it's not just about my personal goals, it's about how my goals fit into the bigger picture at Samsung. It shows that I'm thinking long term.
Exactly. Longevity is key for Samsung. They want to know that you are invested in their journey and not just your own personal journey. The example answer from the video even mentioned being really excited about potentially learning from Samsung's world-renowned engineers and researchers.
Oh, that is such a smart move. It shows that you value what Samsung uniquely offers. Okay, this is making me feel so much more confident about answering that question. But let's be real. No matter how much we prepare for this, interviews can still be really nerve-wracking. Do you have any tips on handling those pre-interview jitters?
Well, nerves are totally normal. It shows that you care. But this YouTube expert had a great suggestion. Visualize success.
Wait, like actually picture myself in the interview room and nailing all the answers.
Exactly. Spend a few minutes each day before your interview. Close your eyes and vividly imagine yourself walking in, feeling confident, answering the questions with total ease, and connecting with the interviewers.
You know what? That's actually a really great idea. I usually just try to distract myself, but this feels like I am actively preparing my mindset.
Yeah, it's really about training your brain to see success as the expected outcome. And the more that you visualize it, the more natural and comfortable it will feel.
Oh, I love that. It's like giving my confidence a head start. Okay, so I'm visualizing, I'm prepping my star stories, I'm researching all of Samsung's values. What else can I do to really nail this interview?
Okay, so this next tip might surprise you. You need to focus on your questions for them.
Hold on. I thought we already talked about asking good questions. What's different here?
So it's about going beyond that surface level. Anyone can ask about benefits or work-life balance. But at Samsung, they're looking for candidates who demonstrate a deeper understanding of their business, their challenges, their ambitions.
Okay, so what kind of questions would impress them?
Well, the video emphasized asking questions that tie back to your specific role and to Samsung's bigger goals, for example. Instead of asking, what's the company culture like? You could say something like, I'm really passionate about. And then you would mention a Samsung initiative that you're really passionate about. And then follow that up with, what are some of the biggest challenges and opportunities the team is facing in that area?
Wow, that is so much more engaging than just a generic question. It shows that you're not just interested in working at Samsung. but you're interested in contributing to something meaningful.
Exactly. You can even ask about specific projects or initiatives that you uncovered during your research. It shows that you've gone the extra mile and you are thinking critically about how you can add value.
Okay, this is making me realize that the questions that I ask are just as important as the answers that I give. It's all about showcasing my curiosity, my strategic thinking, and my genuine interest in Samsung's success.
You got it. Remember, an interview is a two-way street. It's a chance for them to get to know you, but it's also an opportunity for you to figure out whether Samsung is the right fit for you. So ask those questions that matter to you. And that will give you a deeper understanding of the role and the company culture.
This is all incredibly valuable advice, but let's be real, there's only so much you can prepare for, right? What about those curveball questions? The ones that come out of left field?
Well, that's where confidence and quick thinking come in. But remember, even if you get thrown a question that you weren't expecting, you can always bring it back to your core message, your skills, your passion for technology, and your alignment with Samsung's values.
Okay, that is reassuring. So even if I stumble a little bit, it's about getting back on track and just reiterating why I'm the perfect candidate for Samsung.
Exactly. And remember, even the most seasoned professionals get stumped sometimes. It's not about being perfect. It's about being genuine and showing your thought process and demonstrating your ability to adapt and learn.
I love that. It really takes the pressure off and makes the whole interview process feel so much more human.
Exactly. And we're going to keep uncovering more of these advice gems in part 3 of this deep dive, so stay tuned.
We are back for the final part of our Samsung interview deep dive. We have covered so much ground already, from showcasing your Samsung DNA to visualizing success. But what is that secret ingredient, the thing that really pushes you over the edge from a good candidate to a standout candidate?
You know, we talked about the importance of your skills and your experience and the cultural fit. But I think there's one more element that truly sets those exceptional candidates apart, and that is passion.
Passion? You mean like genuinely being excited about the job? I mean, shouldn't that already be a given?
It should be. But you would be surprised how many candidates come across as well. A little flat. They might nail all the technical stuff. But they kind of lack that spark. And this YouTube video really emphasized how important it is to let your passion shine through at Samsung. Remember, they're not just looking for competence. They're looking for people who are driven, inspired, people who truly believe in what Samsung is doing.
Okay, so how do we go beyond just saying, I'm passionate about technology? How do we actually convey that excitement in a way that feels genuine and compelling?
It's all about storytelling. So instead of just listing your accomplishments, you want to weave them into kind of a narrative. So think back to your past projects, your proudest moments, maybe the times when you really geeked out over a technical challenge. What were the emotions that you were feeling? What were the obstacles that you had to overcome? What were the breakthroughs that you had? Try to bring those stories to life when you're giving your answers.
So instead of me just saying, I have experience in AI development, I could say something like, I was totally hooked on AI ever since I built my first chatbot in college. It was so clunky and made a ton of mistakes. But seeing it learn and evolve was just exhilarating.
Exactly. You're not just stating facts. You're painting a picture. And you're drawing them into your world. And that passion, it's contagious. It makes you memorable. It really makes you stand out.
That makes so much sense. It's like you're giving them a glimpse to who you are as a person and not just a resume on legs.
Exactly. And remember, Samsung is a company that is built on innovation and pushing boundaries. So don't be afraid to let your inner tech geek really shine through. Talk about those projects that you got fired up about, the challenges that kept you up all night, the breakthroughs that made you jump for joy.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired already. I've got my stories, my passion is ignited. What else can I do to really make sure that I leave a lasting impression?
Remember those insightful questions that we talked about? Well, this is kind of where they come full circle. Your final questions are really your last chance to demonstrate your understanding of Samsung, your thoughtfulness, and your genuine interest in being a part of their team.
Okay, so no asking about salary or vacation time.
Right. You can save this for HR. Your final questions should be strategic, showing that you've been paying attention and that you're thinking critically throughout the interview. The YouTube video suggested asking about something specific that you learned during the conversation. Like you could say, you mentioned that the team is working on, and then mention a project that they mentioned. What are some of the biggest challenges that you're facing in that area?
Wow, that is so much better. than just a generic question like, what's the company culture like?
Yeah.
It shows that you were engaged, you were curious, and you're already thinking about how you can contribute.
Exactly. And if you can tie your final question back to one of your own passions
Hmm.
or your own areas of expertise, even better, creates a really natural connection and leaves them with a strong impression of your skills and interests.
Okay, this is making me realize that acing a Samsung interview is about so much more than just reciting your resume. It's about showcasing your personality, your passions, your unique perspective. It's about being human and not just a candidate.
I couldn't have said it better myself. And remember, all of the strategies that we've talked about today, from the STAR method to visualization to storytelling, these are all tools that you can use in any interview setting. It's all about presenting yourself with confidence, authenticity, and a genuine desire to learn and contribute.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive. I feel like I've gone from feeling intimidated to feeling empowered and excited about the prospect of interviewing at Samsung. What is that one piece of advice that you would leave our listeners with as they are headed into their interviews?
You need to believe in yourself. You have the skills, the passion, and the drive. Now go out there and show Samsung what you're made of.
Beautifully said. And remember, listeners, an interview is not an interrogation, it's a conversation. It's a chance to connect and explore all the possibilities, so relax. Be yourself, let your passion shine through, and trust that the right opportunity will find you. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and good luck out there.